Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are taking a deep dive into what is arguably one of the most profound, frankly, mind-bending pieces of Eastern wisdom ever recorded. We're looking at Osho's insights on the Ashtavakra Gita. Now look, this isn't your typical soothing spiritual text, not at all. It is a direct, incredibly radical look at reality itself.
Okay, let's dive into this. What if spiritual liberation, enlightenment, doesn't actually require lifetimes of grueling hard work? What if it can happen for you right here, right now? I know, it sounds a bit crazy, but that is the core, revolutionary premise of Ashtavakra's teachings. It completely shatters this deeply ingrained idea we all have that you've got to endlessly prepare, struggle, and just wait around for enlightenment.
Section 1. The purest statement of truth. Pure mathematics versus poetry.
And this brilliantly illustrates how Osho actually describes the Ashtavakra Gita. He calls it a completely unadulterated statement of truth. It's totally untouched by society or politics. To put that into perspective, think about Krishna's famous Bhagavad Gita. Osho compares Krishna's text to, well, an inkblot test. It's highly poetic, it's diplomatic. If you're a devotee, you'll find devotion in it. If you're an action-oriented person, you find action. It kind of accommodates your ego. But Ashtavakra's text, it's pure mathematics. 2 + 2 = 4. There's literally no room for subjective interpretation. There's no beautiful poetry to hide behind. It demands that you drop your ego entirely just to even step through the door.
Moving on to Section 2, the vision of the soul, shattering illusions.
To truly grasp just how radical this guy was, picture this scene. There's this massive, prestigious philosophical debate taking place at the court of Emperor Janaka. Suddenly, in walks a 12-year-old boy. And he's physically deformed in 8 places, which is actually where his name, Ashtavakra, comes from. It literally means 8 bends. Naturally, the great so-called wise scholars in the room start laughing at his awkward appearance. But Ashtavakra, he starts laughing even harder. The king, Janaka, is totally shocked and asks him why. And Ashtavakra delivers this absolutely fearless response. He says, "I'm laughing because in this assembly of shoemakers, the truth is being decided."
Yeah, you heard that right. He literally called the greatest scholars of the land shoemakers. Why? Well, think about it. A shoemaker evaluates a person by looking at the leather, right? The exterior skin. Ashtavakra was pointing out that these supposed wise men possessed chamar drishti. That's the vision of a shoemaker, someone only capable of judging the physical vessel. He was saying they completely lacked atma drishti, the vision of the soul. They totally lacked the ability to recognize the infinite, formless observer inside. Basically, he was telling them that just because a temple is twisted, it absolutely doesn't mean the sky inside it is twisted too.
Section 3, the king's ultimate question, the seeking mind.
Let's move to the next day and see how this builds. This absolute boldness just stunned King Janaka. He realized his esteemed scholars were actually fools. So the emperor himself approaches this young boy the next morning, bows completely down to him, and asks 3 deeply profound questions. Gatam Jnanam, Gatam Mukti, Vairagyam Katam, which translates to, how is knowledge attained? How is liberation achieved? How is detachment acquired? Janaka, you see, was a pure seeker. He was finally ready for a truly uncompromising answer.
Section 4, poison versus nectar, the daily choices.
So, Ashtavakra doesn't waste any time. No long rituals, no gradual philosophies. He gives the king a stark contrast, asking him to identify the toxic habits of the ego and swap them out for spiritual sustenance. If you look at this mapping, it's pretty clear. Anger, deceit, cruelty, dissatisfaction, untruth, these are the poisons. Ashtavakra says we are constantly consuming these, and they're just draining our life energy. They're effectively causing us to decay every single day. The nectar, on the other hand, the spiritual sustenance, is forgiveness, straightforwardness, compassion, contentment, and truth. And here's the thing, these aren't just polite, feel-good moral guidelines. They are deeply practical, daily choices. They literally dictate whether our life energy is slowly draining away or flourishing with absolute vitality.
Section 5, the power of the witness, stripping away the false.
Okay, now we reach the absolute core of his method. It's an intense process of stripping away every single layer of false identity we cling to. He basically commands the king, you are not the earth, you are not water, you are not fire, you are not air, you are not space, you are not your social class, your job, your age, or even your physical body. Strip it all away. It's like shedding layers of heavy, wet winter clothing. You have to realize that anything you can observe, your childhood, your youth, your physical form, it all comes and goes, right? And if it comes and goes, well, it simply cannot be the real you.
So the crucial point is this. When all those physical elements, all those societal labels, all those temporary emotional states are completely stripped away, what actually remains? Well, you are the pure witness, the Sakshi. You are the eternal observer. You're the one who simply watches the mind and the body, completely untouched by the changing seasons of life.
Section 6. Liberation, Here and Now, the Quantum Leap.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that this brings us to the true climax. This is where Ashtavakra completely diverges from almost every other spiritual tradition in the world. Just look at this massive contrast between gradual evolution and instant reality. Most other paths, like Patanjali's yoga, for instance, demand lifetimes of preparation, endless postures, strict discipline. But Ashtavakra, he offers a radical path. He uses the word adunaiva, which means right here, right now. It's a literal quantum leap. He completely exposes the exhausting illusion that you somehow have to prepare for enlightenment. Because if your true nature is already the free witness, well, it doesn't take time to become what you already inherently are.
And so Ashtavakra's core instruction is breathtakingly simple, Chiti Vishramya, just rest in consciousness. That's it. True meditation, at least in this ultimate context, isn't an action. It's not some specific chant you perform or a chore you check off your daily spiritual to-do list. No, it's the absolute profound relaxation of the soul. It is a complete rest from the ego, from that constant tiring anxiety of always having to be the doer who has to achieve something. You literally just relax into the awareness of being the witness.
Which leaves us with the ultimate challenge today, echoing straight from the court of King Janaka right down to you watching this right now. If liberation isn't some distant future goal, but rather a present reality just waiting to be recognized, are you ready to stop doing, simply rest and be free right now? I mean, why keep preparing to live when you can just drop the false layers, become the pure witness, and experience that quantum leap today? Think about that for a while. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep focused.